Oops. Okay. Yellows. So I did that one already. Did that one already. So now we have to do those two. Okay. I think I'm gonna need this one. I might be able to do this one. Okay. Well, let's see. I need my wrist guard. So, working on finishing up a few pieces. So I've got a few pieces that have been varnished and are just drying now. And they'll get at least one more coat of varnish. And I have this incense holder. Hey, Crystal. Incense goes in right there. That I'm working on. I need to finish up the edging on. We're going to add some swoops there. And this one here. Hey, Jess, how you doing? It's good to see ya. Sorry, I'm coughing a lot today. I apologize. So then there is this one that I love so much. That we're going to add some swoops around here as well, just to kind of mirror this. I haven't decided yet which direction I'm going to go to try and get them to spin, but we're going to work on that today, as well as the edging for this one. And possibly some touch-ups on here as well. So that is where we're going. So I am going to give my paint a stir and we can get going. The paint I'm using on this, I made the candle holders out of gypsum, UltraCal 30 gypsum plaster, and a mold that I got from dotartdepot.com. I wonder if I have my Post-it. No, it's still here. I have a coupon code at dotartdepot.com. So the molds the tea light holders were from dotartdepot.com. The incense holders are from Devon Dotting. There's that. And where was I going with this? The paint that I'm using a combination of Deco Art Americana and I can't remember, I think it's Folk Art Dazzling Metallics. Thank you so much. I'm so glad you like them. I'm loving this one. Now, I do have this one that is completely done. It's just, I put a coat of satin varnish on it, and now that I have been looking at it, I think it needs a coat of high gloss varnish instead. So this one is also done. Now these ones were the first ones that I've ever painted and ever made out of these molds. So they've got some bubbling there. So there's some notches out of there. Hi, Anne. Now, apparently on Monday, this past Monday, Christina Lee did an interview with DIY Mandala Stones. They make she makes the tools that I use. And I guess in that live as well, they talk about molding in here. So I haven't been able to find it. It was a 2-hour live. I've got to go searching some more. I'm not even 100% sure that I was looking in the right spot. So yeah, hopefully I'll be able to find that video and be able to see how I can do this better without any bubbles. But so these are the ones that I've been practicing on. Fewer and fewer bubbles each time, but we're getting there. Oh, I'm good, Axel. How are you? It's good to see you. These are incense holders, my dear. So your incense would go like so in the incense holder. Aren't they amazing? The DIY Mandala Stones tools are absolutely phenomenal. They're just amazing. Now, I've used the acrylic rods a couple of times. I don't have a set that I have here now, but I really liked them as well, but the size range was the issue there, right? When I first started with dot mandalas, I started with crochet hooks. And I just went out and bought a whole bunch of the plastic crochet hooks from Walmart and used them because they were all different sizes as well. And the DIY Mandala stones are just so phenomenal. Hey Sharon, how you doing? Yeah, isn't it cool? I always say that the little notches though here, so it's like for bitch sticks, you know. I don't know if everybody will get that reference, but there we go. Yeah, and they're good, but yeah, the size range, you're really limited, right? You're really, really limited. By the way, too, I'm going to be eating in your ear because I'm having some chips. Oh, thank you, Sabrina. Thank you, Cindy. How you doing? How you feeling? All right, I'm going to eat. So yeah, I really don't like the satin finish on this. I find it makes it look cheap. So I'm either going to put matte over top of it, which I might, or I'm going to do a high gloss on this one. But the ones that are drying are this candle holder. This candle holder, I'll be able to varnish it. This looks familiar, right? It's the Progression. This design started on a mug. Actually, so did this one. This design started on a mug, ended up as a pattern. I made my first step-by-step pattern. It's available on my website if you want to learn how to make one similar to this. There's a 4-inch and a 12-inch pattern. So a lot of these designs started on mugs, and then I've just started putting them on other things. This design came from a mug as well, and it is actually going to be this obviously compacted into a smaller space is going to be the second pattern that I release, and then this one's going to be the third. Maybe I'll do another one like this. But so they are drying right now, waiting for their second coats of varnish on the other side, and then this is the other one that still needs a little bit more varnish, but I'm really happy with that one. Really, really like it. I think with the metallics, the high gloss is going to be the way to go. All right, let's let these refresh. Does look cool, eh, honeys? How you doing? Does it? Does it look like that? That's cool. I love that, Jess. That's so awesome. I love that. Oh, Cheetos is usually where I go to, Cindy. Cheetos are a crutch for me. So I'm having barbecue Ruffles chips right now. Yeah, the consistency of size is so much better. Yes. Thank you, Mrs. Platt. And I'm doing good, honey. Thank you. How are you? Oh, the purple. Oh, yeah. Yeah. And then I put the metallic teal on the top just to kind of brighten it up a little. I love this one. I'm going to be doing a lot in these. One of the things that I kind of came to last night was I'm going to be doing a lot of these patterns, but with different colors, just to see how they turn out differently. This stone is waiting for its final coat of varnish, and then I'll be able to get this one on its way out as well. It's a memorial stone for someone who lost their fur baby. I'm going to be starting to make a lot more of these again. How much you need to work on your swoops? It gets addicting though, right? Once you start getting them and they start looking good and you've got some of that consistency, it gets really addicting. Like I can't, obviously, I can't get enough of the stupid swoops, right? The candle holders, I make these. I made them out of gypsum concrete. I'm actually going to be selling blank ones on my website. I'm going to be doing a shop restock next Saturday, the 26th at noon Eastern, where I will have blanks of these available. I don't know how many. I can only make 3 a day, so there's not going to be a huge ton of them. So I use Ultra Cal 30 gypsum concrete and a mold that I got from Dot Art Depot to make these. If you're interested in the mold, dotartdepot.com, and there is a coupon code that you can use for 10% off at dotartdepot.com where I got those molds. If you're new to dotting as well, if you're new to dot mandalas, Dot Art Depot has, Lydia's written an incredible book. She also has lots of different dotting tools, including the dotting tools that have the silicone brushes on the end. For those of you guys who've hung out with me before know how much I love these silicone brushes for removing paint when I have made a mistake or want to make a change in the design or anything like that. So take a look at dotartdepot.com. I'm actually going to be ordering a couple more of these candle holders so I can make more of them at a time and start making maybe 5 or 6 a day would be lovely. And eventually I will have the incense holder molds there as well. I just need to figure out this thing about not getting any bubbles. That will be crucial. So yeah, Jamie 10 if you want 10% off there. So that's where I got these. I made them. Thank you, Mrs. Platt. Thanks, Sweet Buttercup. I imagine it's much the same as once you finally... Yes, totally, right? It's totally gratifying when you're like, oh, that's so much better. Oh, yeah, okay, that's how I want them to look, right? When you have those moments. I put up a video not too long ago, earlier today, that is me doing some swoops real time. So which ones were they? It was actually from this candle holder, and it was doing some of these swoops and I showed them real time to show the speed that I actually do a lot of these swoops at. It's not the speed I go at every time, but it is a lot of the time. Hi, Camille. How you doing? I love Chameleonaire. Oh, it's a great username. Love it. Okay, munching on chips now. Gonna pick this one up. Hey, Patty. It's good to see you guys. Good to see ya. All right, so we're going to be going back and forth between these two pieces quite a bit because I am going to need to set this one down to dry quite often. But we'll see how we do. I'm not happy with that swoop, but we're going to leave it. Or that one. Have a good day at work. Take care of yourself. It's good to see ya. My hand is shaky today. That's a little better. So what's everybody up to today? I hope you're having a good start to your Saturday. And I guess your Saturday's almost over, isn't it? So just before I hopped on here, I looked at my Instagram account, and I'm at I'm literally one follower away from 10,000, you guys. I know numbers aren't supposed to mean anything, but it's freaking cool. So I've started prepping to get ready for a giveaway to celebrate. And I'm going to give away a whole bunch of dotting tools. And I'm going to give away some stuff to paint on them. And I'm going to give away one of my patterns. As well. Hey Jules, how you doing, love? How you been? What's new and exciting? There's a huge storm over here, so I didn't do much. Clean the house so I can dot tomorrow. Nice. I hope you guys are okay. You staying warm? Was it a lot of snow? Okay, I gotta take a sip of my drink. Oh, and I didn't turn on. I always have my iPad on in the background so I can keep an eye on the time and so that I have some kind of white noise in the background. I saw a TikTok today that they said they were talking about brown noise. I'd never heard about brown noise before, but I sat and I listened to this video with my eyes closed of brown noise, and oh my God, I don't think I've felt that peaceful in a very, very long time. All right. I gotta make sure I turn my music down before I hit play. Or TikTok will kick me off because of the music. And I know I could go and get royalty-free music. I know I can. And I will eventually, but I haven't done it yet. There we go. Okay. Yeah, it was brown noise. It's weird, eh? Oh, yeah? Oh, here for a dose of Jamie. Oh, you're so sweet. And I'm sending you lots and lots of love. I hope that hanging out makes life a little easier. Hi, Lauren. No way, that's so cool. That's so cool. I just followed you. I want to see your stuff. Don't get all that snow, just wind. Yeah. No way, so you use brown noise already. So what's the difference between brown noise and white noise, I wonder? You use it to sleep too? I'd never heard of it before. That's so cool. No, I knew I didn't have to buy it. I just haven't gone to find it to be able to play it. That's all. Brown noise feels heavier? Interesting. Yeah, sorry. I didn't mean to, I just haven't done it yet to go looking for it, to stream it and to listen to it to see if I even want to. So I just haven't done it yet. Oh, bearing on an airplane. Fantastic. Oh my God, I'd be out cold. I can't stay awake on airplanes. World's best sedative for me. The garden furniture almost flew away. Oh no. Oh. Well, I hope you're all safe and sound and there wasn't any or too much damage. You do yours through Alexa. I am making an incense holder. So once this is done, the incense will go here. So it'll be a little shingy. And thank you. I'm really happy with how it's turned out. This design started as on a mug, and then I put it onto a candle holder, and then I put it on this, and I'm sure we'll put it on a whole bunch of other things. Cool. Oh, thank you, Shubi. Awesome royalty for us in almost every genre out there. Very interesting. I will give it a look and see what I can do. I'll give it a listen one of these days. We'll see what happens. We had luck. 4 people. Oh my God. Oh, Anne, that's terrifying. No, it's not thunder, Jules. It's actually the wind shaking our windows. We've got really, really bad winds here today. So I'm half expecting, or at least I won't be surprised if something happens to the internet today, because it's really, really, really bad. How is the reception, you guys? Is it super choppy, or are we doing all right? One thing that I've learned really quickly about doing a design like this on the side is that when I have to hold it like this, it really, 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 really hurts the hand. So while I really like the look of this design, I don't know how often I'd be able to do it. Lurking for as long as you can while the Renaissance Festival is going. Why does it cut into your stuff, Jerry Lynn? Oh, good. I'm glad it's doing good. Super windy and cold there too. Yeah, it's crazy windy today. And then the windows here in the solarium where I sit and I paint, right? Like I'm surrounded by all these windows and they are just vibrating and shaking pretty good. It is nice to get time with Jerry Lynn, isn't it? Take it whenever we can get it. Well, I'm glad you're okay, Anne, too. That's wonderful. All right. Let's keep going. So when you're painting something that gets difficult to hold on to, that's when you really want to be able to kind of just put it down, walk away from it for a little bit, work on something else, and then come back to it. I'm having a hard time with these sweeps, so I'm actually going to switch to a different tool. I was having a hard time because I've just having too much paint on there, so let's try with a smaller tool. Much better. That's what I wanted. Sometimes changing the tool can be all the difference. You're after the fact worried. Totally get it. All my 11s are Kato damage. Wonderful. Good. I'm glad the connection is good too. Okay, awesome. All right. Do you have to work today, Jerry Lynn? And Sharon, how are you doing? You doing any painting? That was terrible. So we're just going to add some paint up here, and I'm going to use the tool to pull that down. So also, please do not think that, the swoops happen good every single time. The number of times I go in and doctor it with one of these tools to get rid of jagged edges, not a problem. Your pillow keeps licking your face. Hi, Blue. Hi, Paula. You head in soon. Your 9-hour day at the Art Center. Oh, wow, that's a long day. Yeah, the wind's crazy, eh, Lacey? I miss not being around too. Oh, I'm sending you lots of love. Yeah, you're super close to me. It's bananas. And that's the worst part, Anne, when it's so different than what you're used to. What's new and exciting, Paula? All right, let's keep going. So it's because I'm painting wrapping around the side, right? That's why on this orientation, right? If I was painting with with it facing a different direction, like if I was painting it this way, It's totally different. It's easier to hold. And I could put this underneath it to help support a little bit there, right? When I'm doing straight up and down, there's nowhere that I can support it because the whole edge could potentially have wet paint on it, right? Oh, thank you, Farm. That's so kind. Of a rose, gold, and black coffee mug. Ooh, La Carabella. I'm going to have to write that down and put that on the list of colors. Painting, relaxing. Oh, yeah, it's a long weekend. That's right, too. I forgot about that. Oh, well, that means I guess I'm not going to the post office on Monday. Paul, I'm going to send you some of those extra tea light holders, too. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to ship the cards and the sticker. I'm going to send you with some more blanks and ship them separate from your mugs, okay? And they will go out in the mail on Tuesday. So you should have them by the end of the week, if that's okay with you. Does that work all right? I was going to do it Monday, but now that it's a holiday, I guess I'm not mailing anything. Yeah, Buffalo always, like, we used to always sit here and look at our snow and then go, yeah, but those poor bastards in Buffalo are just getting buried. You know, like it was always like, oh, if we've gotten it this bad, I hope everybody in Buffalo's okay. Awesome. Thanks, Paula. All right. So the thing that helps me do this faster and less painfully is to do all of one side, because I can get that muscle memory that we've talked about going a little bit. Hopefully, I usually can get it working in my favor a little bit. Oh, there's some kind of clumpy paint booger in there. All right. Just to be able to kind of keep going. You bought the Oahu paint. Ooh, yay. That's exciting. I hope you like it. Okay, this one's going to have to go because I've got to get that clumpy crap out of there. All right, so we're going to redo this one. Dee-dee-dee. Very nice. I'm excited for you. I really think that those are going to be really fun paints to play with. Like now that I've played with the bright rainbow colors, now I want to start getting into some of the others. You know, I don't quite know what yet, but I want to do something. I want to do more with the teals and the blues for sure. They're all just so pretty. And I need to get back to painting with the flash paints as well. I definitely need to do that. But I also am going to need to thin them down a little bit too. So what are you going to paint on? What are you painting on, Paula? What are you doing? What are you doing? We need to know. Excited to try. Right? Yeah, they're pretty spectacular. It blows me away when I pick it up and I can see the sheen really almost flicker in the right light. It's so cool. It's almost holographic. Okay, sorry, I'm just cleaning up my gesso lid. I've got a bunch of half-dried gesso gunk. Or, if we follow the same naming convention that I've been using up until this point, gesso boogers in the paint. So, uh-oh, I'm getting it all over my hands. My container wasn't closing properly. I thought I cleaned it out enough last night. Apparently, I did not, because it's all gummy again here now. But that's okay. I'm going to pull some of this out. It should be good. Okay. I need to change my Bristol board underneath me, too. All records. Nice. Yes, you're definitely going to need to thin. And quite a bit as well. I'm not completely sure if it blows the 50-50 ratio idea out of there, but you're going to need to thin it quite a bit. Now, I'm still really new to it, so I don't know if I've added more or less thinner than what I probably should or what's considered normal. But yeah, you're definitely going to want to thin them out. You have pouring medium, Paula? Do you have to, I've asked this question before and people have answered it for me and my brain has not cataloged the information. How do you prep a record, and do the grooves in the record, do they not impact the shape of your dots? Like, obviously they don't, because so many people do them and I just can't wrap my head around it. Oh, good. So flat. Oh yeah, I remember you mentioning that. I'll have to have a look at those. They're nice and matte finish. And what brand were they again? Were they Liquitex maybe? I can't remember. I remember somebody sent me the link. It was probably you. I haven't looked at it yet. Have fun with them, Paula. They're very satisfying to work with. When I was doing this one in particular, when I was doing the swoops down here, it got very holographic feeling because when you twisted it around, it would change color a little bit. It was awesome. Golden brand. Thank you, Sharon. Do 2 coats of flat back folk art acrylic. That's cool. All right. Good to know. I've got 10 records sitting in my living room where with all of my canvases. As with most stuff that I have to paint, it was purchased over a year ago, and the stuff that I buy now, most of it will sit around until next year. They sure are, Lacey. Thanks, Sharon. I knew someone sent me the link. I'll definitely have to give them a try one of these days. And they're nice quality paints too. Woo, woo, woo. Yes. Isn't that cool? Resin's like that too. But I love the varnishing. It's so satisfying when you see that bit of a color change, or when you see the colors pop even more. So yeah, these are incense holders that I made from gypsum plaster and molds that I got from dotartdepot.com. No, these are Devon Dotting. Devon Dotting is the incense holders. dotartdepot.com is the other candle holders. My apologies. That's better. I do not have a coupon code to give you for Devon Dotting, unfortunately. And if you haven't looked at their website yet, you're welcome, and I'm sorry, because you're going to want to spend an absolute buttload of money, because there's some super cool stuff there. I do plan on eventually having enough of these available too, so that I can have them available as blanks for you guys, so you don't have to make them if you don't want to. But that's gonna take me a bit of time, but it'll get there. Meh. Audrey's talking to me. Meh. Devon Dotting, it's crazy. Crazy the stuff that there is there. Blows my mind. There's a couple other ones that are definitely high on the list. I think I'm going to get some stencils though and see playing with those. When I order the next candle holders from Daughter at Depot, I'm going to get some stencils and see how we can play with those a little bit. And I've said it a couple of times, but I really, really want to do it. I want to get the I really want to get the bottles out again and start painting with the bottles again. I think that would be super fun. I want to try that here on. And I'd like to maybe even do a combination of the bottles and dotting, right? I think that could be kind of cool. Oh, thank you. Thank you, Fatma. That's so sweet. Okay, now we go this way. Let's see if I missed anybody. Nope. And now we go this way. Now this one is going to be the more difficult one because it's a cross. So you know what we're going to do? I'm actually going to let this one dry because I'm going to have to set my hand down in a couple of different ways, and I want to make sure that I don't smudge anything that I just did, since it's actually worked out well right now. So for now, I like being able to kind of set it off to the side, right? Like I love being able to sit here and have those sitting off to the side and just kind of knowing what they are and seeing them out of the corner of my eye and seeing how I feel about them. It's really, really satisfying. I'm thoroughly enjoying looking at my own work with this stuff. And I wish that happened more often up to this point, and I'm really, really happy that it's happening now because it's really, really fun to be enjoying looking at my own work. And there's the other one. So I like sitting that one too to be able to see. I like having the inner lip done. I think it looks kind of cool. Oh, thank you, Audie. Addie. Thank you. So we're going to let that one dry for a little bit. We're going to come back and work on this one. Oh, that's so... It's funny because sometimes, though, when you sit and you look at your own growth, right? And I'm so proud of every single thing that I've ever done. And because it was all beautiful. But it's being able to sit and enjoy looking at my stuff without criticizing it or being not as critical. And I feel that there's a combination of me just being really happy with the work that I'm doing and really happy with my skill developing and all of that, to just being nicer to myself. And I think when I'm nicer, I make prettier things too. But it's funny because, yeah, there's some stuff that I have sitting around here and I look at it and go, it doesn't even look like I painted it. You know, and it's so fun to look at it and go, yeah, I made that. Like when I look at these, I sit there and go, yep, I made them. They're beautiful. I know that they're mine. I love them. Same with the candle holders. When I sit and look at them sitting over there, I'm just so happy with them. And it feels really, really nice. Rihanna, how are you? How have you been? What's going on? It's so good to see you. How have you been? I'm going to eat in your ear again here, and we are going to get ready to do some swoops on the side here. We are going to go Oh, I'm glad you're doing good. I'm good too, honey. Thank you. Thank you for asking. It's so nice to see you. What you been up to? Bring us up to speed. So I'm going to try and line these up. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to cheat. That's what I'm going to do. I am going to cheat. All right. This is what we're going to do. I've really stepped up the pace while doing the 2-hour lives. Oh, yay. Thank you. I felt like that, and I was wondering if I was, but then I thought maybe I was just... the 2-hour lives do make such a big difference, eh? Especially when the lives are so many times the only time I sit down and paint in a day. Thank you for that. That makes me really happy to know that you guys are seeing that too. That's so amazing. My wrist is okay, honey. It's just been sore because when I've been painting a lot of the mugs, I've been kind of holding my wrist at really weird angles when I'm holding the mugs and trying to paint them. So I just got the brace to help it a little bit. So the dots that were tricky was the first row. The first row was definitely tricky on the inside there, but then it actually got pretty easy because I was able to sit it on its side. You know what the biggest trick was though? Was not coming in on an angle with my tool and really trying to get in there as straight up and down as I could. But that being said, they worked out pretty well. Yeah, they were definitely... They definitely were trickier than we'd be used to, for sure. But they weren't as bad as I anticipated them being, which is nice. Okay, this is actually what I'm going to do. I'm not going to use that. Throw that on the ground. Where's my blue ruler? Oh, right in front of my face. Blue ruler. I'm going to line my ruler up. I'm just going to notch it out here. Because these notches, when I place them, I'll be able to still see them when I go to place my dots, so I know here where I want to space them out. So I'm going to do 2 of them, see how many dots are in between, and then just start notching them out the whole way around. Okay, so we have 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. There we go. So now we've got them all notched out. So I'll be able to see. Painting outside of lives, I have been overwhelmed with stuff to do here around the apartment with mom and dad and with the business side of my business. I've been struggling a lot with I don't know if lack of motivation is the word, but like once I get up and get doing something, I'm really, really good, but I'm having a really hard time with starting. You know, it's where the lives really help me out because I can start when it comes to a calendar reminder. But if it's just trying to figure things out, I find I get distracted easily. And sometimes I get to the point of overwhelm where I will literally crawl in bed and pull the covers up over my head and can't really function for the rest of the day. So it depends on when I hit a wall, how hard I hit that wall, how many other walls I'm anticipating hitting that day. But it's in a lot of the cases there are things that I want to set up for my business as well that are going to take a lot of time to set up, but aren't going to require a lot of time for me maintenance wise that I'm trying to get set up because they're potential revenue generators for me. And my ultimate goal is to get to a point where I wake up in the morning, I do a little bit of work on the computer and messages and stuff like that, and then I just sit and paint all day and I'm live as much as I can, and then I'm able to kind of schedule a bunch of stuff. But when I sit and I think about the fact that I've been doing this for 3 years, that I started Dot Mandala painting 3 years ago, there's an immediate battle in my head. Immediate battle, and it's loud, and it's really unkind. Yeah, really, really unkind. So that, like, there's all these little things that keep popping up that I'm having a difficult time kind of processing through when I can get through appointment after appointment after appointment. So I'm trying to kind of set up more things as appointments in my calendar, because then I can get to them. But then at some point I feel drained and overwhelmed with that too, right? Yeah, I don't know if that really answers your question, Ice, but I hope it does. Thanks, Rihanna. That's you too, Cindy. You too, Jessica. It's a frustrating thing, and you know, I talk a great game, but when it comes to follow through, that's where I struggle. I'm doing so much better than I have done, especially in the last 5 to 10 years. But there are still a lot of things that I'm struggling with. Yeah, there's still a lot of things. So I tend to get bogged down in a lot of that stuff a lot, which causes me to put painting significantly lower on the priority list. You're welcome. Hi, Vivian. All right, I'm going to eat another chip and then let's keep going. It's why these lives are so valuable. Oh, and I didn't notch the mullet. I thought that was quick. I used to think that I was at a point where I needed help doing everything, and I do. However, the stuff that I would need to provide to somebody and be able to talk about with somebody are not things that I even have wrapped my head around either. And I'm not financially there. Someday. There it is. I knew there was a spot that I had to go in here and touch up. Hi, Carolyn. How are you doing? How are you feeling? I'm sending you so much love. I'm so glad you're here. How you been? Okay. I think there's so many different factors, and I think you're 100% right, Anne, that's definitely one of them for sure. I think for me, it's been a lot of the COVID thing has been what has helped force me to sit down and look at a lot of stuff that I hadn't been looking at before when it comes to myself and my own personal responsibility and accountability and actions and all of that sort of stuff. And wanting to do this full time and starting it when I did, there are a lot of things I know that I could have done differently that would have already made such a huge impact on my business. So it's also trying to not recognize that, which is even more paralyzing, right? So a little slow, yeah. Oh, I'm sending you so much love, Carolyn. So much energy, so much healing and loving energy. Badass. You are badass. You are strong. Holy cow. I'm sure you know that. You don't need me to tell you. So yeah, I feel like, oh, you're so welcome, honey. So welcome. Do you have some time to just kind of rest and take care of you? You come here for the therapy, aw. Oh, Jessica, you're welcome. Moving day, that's a lot. That's busy. If there's anybody out there, I'm just sitting here and spitballing and thinking, if there's anybody out there that I could go through Fiverr, that would work too. I'm thinking to find somebody to help me create some more products on the website. If anybody would be interested in talking to me about that and working for like a cut of sales, let me know. I hear myself ask that, and I think of what a huge ask that is. Of, hey, come work for me, and I'll give you something if we sell stuff. But it's just a thought. I don't know if there's anybody out there who's looking to learn that sort of stuff. I don't really know, but let's put it out there in the universe and see what happens. Maybe there is. Oh, thank you, Carolyn. You're ready for a hot bath and the wine. I bet. Can you shoot me a message, Jessica? What am I drawing with? I was drawing with a watercolor pencil crayon. Good question. So watercolor pencil crayons, I find that they're not quite as waxy as regular pencil crayons or even the charcoal pencil crayons. And then anything that doesn't erase off, I can go in with some water. Works. A lot of people prefer white charcoal pencils. I just personally have preferred these, but they're both going to work really well. Not allowed to go back to work. Oh, Carolyn, I'm so sorry. Anything we can do for you? How much of more work do you have to do today, Jessica? I'm needing somebody to help me build print-on-demand products, get them integrated into my website, and get the listings live on my Shopify website. I don't have process documents written out yet for exactly how it would be done. I would have to teach somebody how to do it. I'd have to figure out a way to communicate and get photos and all of that sort of stuff. There's just so many things I could be putting my art on and offering. There's one company that offers jigsaw puzzles, and I really want to put some of my paintings on jigsaw puzzles. I think that would be so cool. But I just, sitting down and taking the time to build that stuff is a little out of my bandwidth, I think. Just like I've got to get started on social media scheduling and see how I can do with that too, right? Oh, you're so kind. You're so kind, Sharon. Thanks, Jessica. You love to paint, Danica? That's so amazing. It's so much fun, isn't it? Hey, Christine. That's so kind, Sharon. I really appreciate that. I really appreciate that. And Jessica, just, I have nothing worked out in my head as far as what that looks like or anything, but I didn't even know if there'd be even anyone who would want to even talk about something like that. So, and again, thank you, Sharon, for the offer as well. I keep just looking around at different things that I could be setting up that could be generating income for me, which would give me the ability to sit and paint more, right? So every time I'm looking around at this sort of stuff, there's so much out there, which is encouraging, right? It's encouraging to know that I have so many different options and so many different ways that I can build my business and build up my business. But between getting past mental blocks and just the sheer number of hours in a day, it gets tough. And when you're running your own business and you're trying to do this, the first thing that pops into my head every single time is, Sure, you want to do that. You can't afford to pay anybody. You're trying to pay your own bills. Like, so it's one of those really kind of strange things. Cool. Let's definitely chat, Jessica. Yeah, exactly. Social, advertisement, media. Like, I would love somebody to sit down and almost help me figure out a list of what I need to put in my Instagram highlights, because I don't have Instagram highlights. Different ways that I could utilize that. Helping me plan out and I've got to look at some different social media providers and stuff like that too, like some of the different social media management companies, because they'll provide templates and everything for content ideas, but how to get into my stories every single day. And then, like I said, just building the products, taking the photo, making sure it's the right size, shape, spacing it on the product, making sure the product description is there. All of that sort of stuff. And all of that could be potentially bringing in income, but I haven't had the ability to sit and do it. It is a cool color, right? So it's a pearl white with a teeny tiny bit of brown Craft Smart. It's not the metallic espresso. It's the satin espresso. On top of receiving my deck of cards on my birthday, my daughter got you a shitload of metallic. No way. That's amazing. That's okay, Cindy. I appreciate you guys being willing to just even hear the ideas or even consider it. Thank you. And yes, happy belated birthday, Christine. All right, let's get doing some swoops, shall we? I wanna. Oh, thank you, Carolyn. So many. Don't know what to start with. Oh, that's the best. That's the best part. But I get it. That can be overwhelming sometimes too, though, right? You're like, if you haven't done it already, getting something that you can use as kind of like a scrap tester and just trying out all the paints. That can be fun. Just try them out. You might get some ideas or see some side by side and have it give you some ideas. But yeah, that beige is one that I just mixed together. Both of them are actually. Okay, so we have all right, I'm going to hold it the difficult way again. We're going to switch this back, and I'm going to come back to that one when it dries, because I've got an idea. And I had a tool, just run into it and smudge it. So now we got to fix it. Okay. Did it smudge? Oh, no, it didn't smudge. Yay. Fantastic. You've been nominated, Jessica. You're in love with the Arteza pearls? A lot of people are in love with those, eh? It says something. It says something when that many people love it. That's how I stumbled across the Ohuhu stuff. So I was looking for Arteza, and I didn't want to spend that much money here in Canada, so I saw the Ohuhu, and I'm like, okay. I am going to keep an eye on sales, though. No, and that's okay. And when I'm looking for somebody to help, it's never the kind of thing where it's like, I need 50 products built. It's, this is what I do. This is what I'm going to try and plug away with. Anytime you're able to jump in and plug away at a couple and plug away when you can, if you can. If you don't touch it for 2 months and then jump in one day and do a bunch, and it's totally fine. Like, I'd never, ever want to do anything like that. Was that for somebody else? They best come down and help you pack, though. hope the rest of your moving day goes really, really well, hon. And I'm excited to chat with you. Didn't switch to text. I think we've all done that at some point. All right, let's keep going. Let's see if we can't. Oh, what was that? See? So this stuff happens all the time. You don't always have to erase it and start over, right? Move some paint around. Give yourself a break. Right? I mean, it's still not perfect. But doctor them up. That one really didn't work well at all. That was a terrible example. Meh. Meh. Being in the choir room in elementary school, yeah. Windy and hollow and echoey like that. Slowly moving in our way. But I'm like, I need this and this and this. And that's the hard part, eh? So are you doing multiple trips over a few days kind of thing? Yes, I am. On this one, no. This one is going to stay the gold. And I'm going to add some more, the brown. And then I'm going to add some more just to keep it consistent with the front here. Now, actually, I could do the orange and then the brown on top of it again to make it stand out a little bit more. Let's think about that one, Carolyn. All the art stuff comes up tomorrow. Yay! Fantastic. Moving on weekends. Oh, so that's not bad then. That's good. It's nice to be able to kind of do it slowly. Sometimes it can be a pain, but sometimes it can be nice, to kind of move some stuff, unpack it, give yourself time to breathe, go back, move some stuff, pack it, give yourself time to breathe. And take advantage of the truck for the big stuff, right? Halloween Eki, like Ghost would sound, yes. Oh, that makes total sense, Jessica. That's super smart. Moving can be a real pain, but there's part of it that I've always really liked. I like setting up my stuff in a new place. Sorry, I'm chewing in your ear again. Where did I leave off? Right there. Oh, yes. I needed a paintbrush, didn't I? That sounds like it would be a super creepy place to spend time, Sharon. Wow, I really need to clean this. What a mess. All right, let's try again. The other thing I want to learn is, have you seen these mandala artists that do these beautiful, gorgeous swoops with long liner brushes and really long liner and round brushes? I want to learn how to do that so bad. There is. It always builds up so fast, eh? There's more and more stuff to move every time you do. Like, I'm looking at the stuff that's around here, and I'm like, I still have so much to do to get settled in here with Mom. Never mind the fact that I still have a full freaking storage unit. Crazy. Crazy, crazy, crazy. Adds up so fast. Builds up. Let's do this one. I hope it goes well and is uneventful and speedy and successful for you. I'm totally smudging paint. I know I am with my... God. So, okay, can everybody see that? Right? Please don't be mad at yourself. Please be kind with yourself. Sounds good, Carolyn. We will be here. We are here for another hour until 3 p.m. Eastern today. I'm sure I'm smudging stuff. How am I not smudging stuff? How did I do that and not smudge anything? I don't get it. I should have. I should have smudged a whole bunch of stuff. Oh well. All right, let's keep going. There we go. Oh, almost put it upside down. Not that it really matters. Right? It's crazy the amount of stuff that accumulates in a few years. Absolutely bananas. Before I moved out to the farm, I started selling a bunch of my stuff, and a lot of people started buying. Like, the same people would show up to buy a bunch of my stuff, and after a while they're like, are you okay? Like, do you need help? Like, what can we do to help you? If you're selling all of your stuff, like, are you all right? And I said, nope, I do not need any help, but I appreciate it. I just have too much stuff and I need to downsize so badly. And I still have enough stuff that if I sold everything that I had for $1, I would probably make a couple grand, you know? And it's crazy to me because it's just sitting there. And I can't justify going out to clean out that stuff until, it's so easy to get us, I can't clean out that room until I clean out that room. And then I need to clean out that room so that it has place for it to go. It's just crazy, crazy, crazy. All right. My cloth is really dirty and I just got black paint all over my hands. So I'm going to quickly take a $5 and just go wash my hands and rinse out my cloth. I just don't want to transfer any of this paint anywhere onto the stuff that we're going to work on. So I will be back in just 2 minutes, maybe less.
Hi, you all right? You all right? Hi. How you doing? Are you comfy? Are you nice and warm? Are you nice and warm? You want to be a little warmer? I'll turn it up. Okay, good girl. What's the problem? Come on. Come on. Come here. Come here. Come on.
Audrey was curled up on the electric blanket And of course, she had to come and follow me into the kitchen because kitchen needs food, obviously, right? Oh my goodness. Sorry, I should have said one more time that I'd be back in one more second. I had to go. I wanted to grab another drink and an ice cube. Oop. Diet Pepsi today. I have successfully lost my taste for regular Pepsi. Thank goodness. And I am quickly losing my taste for Diet Pepsi and starting to crave water. So we're going in a good direction. All right. Here we go. Wrist guard back on. Well, let's have a chip and then put the wrist guard on. What are you doing? Hi. How you doing? What's up, bud? What's up, Puddin'? You doing good? Yeah? Hi. How are you? You want to say hello to everybody? Let's say hello to everybody. Whoops. Let's say hello. Hi, Audrey. Audrey. No, couldn't care less. She tells you what she thinks without even having to say any words. Have you watched those animals that communicate through hitting the different buttons? There was one where they showed the difference between dogs that use the buttons and cats, and a cat that uses the button. And they had this dog that said, like, hit buttons that says stuff like, love you, mommy, thank you, or pets, please, mom, or potty, or just different things like that, or love you. And then they split screen to the cat, and the cat is hitting this button that just says mad, 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 food, food, mad, 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 food. I just died. And yes, there is a humongous part of me that wants to order those buttons and try and teach Audrey to use the buttons. Huge part. And it may happen one of these days. Not right now, but it might. Right? Isn't it so fun to watch? Okay. Let's keep going. Yay, you're back. Me too. I had to stop and go grab a drink. So perfect timing. Okay. It's so different when you have to balance your hand in a completely different way than what you're used to, right? I'm used to putting my knuckle down like I am right here. But when I'm trying to paint that way, it doesn't work as great. It doesn't feel as stable. And that, of course, made a total liar out of me because it was perfectly fine and perfectly stable, which means I've been doing it the hard way with no need. Which sounds about right, though, right? So I was resting my pinky and trying to stabilize my hand this way. Didn't need to do that, apparently. Oh, totally putting my hand flat in paint, though. Good thing none of that's wet. All right, here we go. Let's try again and make sure that I can do this. I have to go on 5, so everyone have a great weekend and see you all later. It was wonderful to see you, Anne. Thank you so much for coming to hang out. Take care of yourself, and I hope you have a great rest of your weekend, too. Look at that monster. Monster. I just had the thought pop into my head. If any of you guys watch Friends, I had the thought pop in my head with Ross with his unagi. Monster! Unagi is not something that you have. It is something that you are. Oh, I miss that show. I gotta sit and watch it again soon. I gotta get Crave. Crave is how we get our HBO Max up here in Canada. We have a streaming provider called Crave. It's also where you can watch the greatest Canadian television show of all time, Letterkenny. You might totally lose respect for me if you haven't watched that show and then you watch it and go, really? This is the show she told me I should watch? So I'm recommending it, but with a disclaimer. I think it's absolutely hysterical, though. I freaking love that show. And it's been really cool. I'm a couple seasons away from the end of a Supernatural marathon. And so many people from Letterkenny were on Supernatural, which makes sense because it's a Canadian show. It was filmed in Canada. Not a Canadian show. It was filmed in Canada. So there's so many Canadian artists, Canadian actors in it, and so many people from Letterkenny. No, I haven't heard of Leverage. I haven't heard of that one. What is it? What is it? All right. Well, let's keep going. Nope, I have to go this way. Okay. It's a Canadian show? There you go. See, as Canadians, we are not taught to like Canadian shows. At least, oh my God, this is driving me crazy. At least we haven't been, it's not something that is faced with a lot of judgment, which is too bad because, I mean, Schitt's Creek is incredible. It's very different now than when I was a kid. That's really what I mean. But no, I'll have to go and have a look. So it's still one of those things that it's still very new for me to even consider going and looking for Canadian TV. It's just very strange. And all I'm doing is getting more black gesso all over myself. What are you working on today, Crystal? Are you driving? Are you driving today? Thank you for the follow, Lynn. Okay. You're on the road? Very good. How's the drive so far? You doing all right? That's better. Just stopped to eat. Very nice. What are you having? Nice. Very nice. What are you working on today, Sharon? You painting today? Hi, Dessa. Taking a break. Very nice. All right, so now I'm gonna let that dry again for a little bit, and we will bring this guy back in. Okay, so. So I'm just thinking. Right, okay. All right, here we go. Oh, cool, I will definitely go have a look. I will definitely go have a look, Sharon. Thanks, Dessa. All right. Here we go. Okay, so I've got some touch-ups to do in there. That's okay. Got a few of them to do. Now, I need... So when I'm getting ready to do swoops with the... Paula, if you are still here, when you are getting ready to do swoops with your Ohuhu paints, after you've set them in the container for a while, make sure that you go in and give them a good stir, like the next day kind of thing, because I added more paint pouring medium to this last night and it's still really, really thick. So it thickens up next day. So keep your eyes on that and kind of reevaluate each time. Like I could use a little bit more pouring medium on this. So I'm gonna grab some, but I'm gonna clean off the edges of my container here a little bit first, just to get rid of any potential boogers coming in. Now, there it is. And I don't need a lot. I'm just gonna put a little bit in there, just to make it a little bit more fluid, especially because I'm gonna be pulling the paint into swoops. I want to make sure that my paint is gonna flow fairly easily. Just gonna add a bit. I'm using apple barrel pouring medium because it's the stuff that I had and I got it for free and it seems to be working all right. And I'm using a little pipette that I actually got as part of a resin kit that I think Jan sent it to me. I'm just gonna clean this out really quick. So I use this little pipette to add pouring medium. It did, didn't it, Christy? How you doing, love? Oh, shit. Sorry. sure I give it a really good shake. How you doing, Chris? Christy! Hope you're doing good. You painting today? You creating today? What's everybody up to? All right, so then I will put that away and give this a stir, and we'll see if this is better consistency for what we're looking for. Now, I'm certainly no expert on pouring mediums and adding them to heavier bodied paints or anything like that. So just know that there's a ton of resources out there that can help you. Check in if you belong to Facebook groups and stuff. Ask lots and lots of questions. What I've heard is approximately 50-50 with your paints. But that the consistency is the most important part. So it doesn't really matter how much pouring medium it takes. But you want to get to a point where when you stir and then you pull the paint out, that little peak sinks back into the paint fairly well. Am I getting lit today? Already lit. Already lit. Now let's see here. I am going to have to hold it this way. Look for the bumps. And this sponge is nice. Sometimes I set it on it to paint, but it's nice, a nice wrist rest. Now what I'm going to do is I think I want to start with yeah, that's what we're going to do. Okay. Oh, for the part. Oh, thank you. I was like, what do you mean for the bumps? What? Yeah. Checking that, because it's not going to, I was kind of surprised at how much more mixing it took, because it didn't mix in super, super quickly. So it takes a little bit of stirring and extra checking in for that. Sorry, I'm trying to just picture something in my head here. You brought a ton of candles with you just in case. Good for you. And you brought your art supply, your painting stuff too. I think that's good. Even if you only get a few minutes here and there, right? Okay, we're just going to do this. Let's just do it. We'll see how it works. Oh, that's not what I wanted. Hold on. Sorry. Okay, sorry, I'm having a hard time getting my idea in my hair. Forgot your painting supplies on your desk? No! Oh, and you were too far on the road to go back? That makes me so sad for you. Oh, that's sad. Good thing there's craft stores. Oh, oh, you wouldn't even have known if you hadn't called? Oh. Oh, that's so sad. Did you tell him, well, I guess I'll just have to buy new stuff then? Yeah, that's frustrating, eh? Oh, do they miss you already? Okay, what I'm trying to figure out... Atta girl. Guess I'm just gonna have to go shopping then. I'm trying to figure out how I can do something like this down here and not lose the length. I think I need to almost start with the blue. Yeah, that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna go in reverse order here. That's the problem. That's the problem. Right? You need to make a bunch of sales to pay for the new craft supplies you gotta buy. All right, so now I'm getting the blue. I'm gonna make some more because I don't have a lot left here. And I'm pretty sure that's not gonna be enough for the whole way around. So it might be, but I'm not super convinced. All right. That wind is crazy. Wow. Crystal, are you doing any selling on Faire? Have you gone down that road yet? Is anybody on here doing any selling on Faire for their business? For wholesale business? Any Dot Mandala artists? I need to get on there and look, but you can't look around without an account. And I'm not ready to set up and apply for a buyer. I can't be a buyer's account, and I'm not ready to apply for a seller's account yet. But I'm curious to know. Faire is an online marketplace for wholesale. So retailers from across North America and around the world, I believe, can log in and they can buy from stores, kind of like an Etsy almost. But for, I believe it's for handmade or like artist design. I'm not 100% sure what all of the difference is, but it's a wholesale marketplace basically. And there's a lot of success happening on it. And I'm trying to look at the things that I could offer wholesale, and I'm not sure yet what I could be offering. Like for hand painted stuff, it would be really, really tough, right? But I'm trying to look at some of the print on demand stuff and see about all of that. Hello Abound and Shopify Handshake. Those are both wholesale. There's so many things to look into. There's so many interesting things that exist out there. Trying to figure out all of them can be a little bit of a monster. Okay, cool. I'll check those out too because I haven't looked at those. And I mean, I'm already on Shopify, so maybe that'll help a little bit. But I'd like to look into some of that different stuff, right? Look and see. I know, that was brave or crazy. Could be a little bit of both. All right, so this, and I can start to hold it like this. Okay, good. So, yeah. My grandma used to always say there's a fine line between bravery and stupidity. I don't even know what I'm doing here. Oh my God. It wasn't even the direction I thought I was asking the tool to go in. These days happen a lot. This is the stuff that slows you down. but that's okay. Because it is normal. Completely and totally normal. But frustrating nonetheless. All right. Holy wind, it's getting worse. Okay, so this is an incense holder. So the incense will go like so. I was trying to paint a real rock the other day and kept having the same issues. It went in the doom bin. Someday, maybe. I don't want to throw it out, but I don't want to look at it. Oh, thank you. I make them actually. I use gypsum concrete. It's called UltraCal 30. Concrete plaster. Call either of those. Probably plaster is more accurate. And a mold that I got from Devon Dotting. They sell all kinds of different molds that you can make. My plan is to offer blanks of these eventually so that you guys can have some to paint on as well. So that is my intention eventually. I'm going to start it up there. We were thinking the same things, eh? So I will be getting to that point. I will have some available next Saturday. Next Saturday is what's it? Next Saturday. This is still not what I want to do. Why am I struggling with this? Next Saturday, I'm going to be doing a shop update, so there will be some there. There won't be a huge ton because the most I can make in a day is 3 or 4. So keep an eye for next Saturday. There will be some then, not a whole bunch because I also need to keep some for myself to be able to paint them. But my goal is to start making a lot more so that I can start having more blanks available. Okay. Got a new idea. I think I understand what I want to do with this now. I actually had my students doing some of this when we went back to school last April. That's amazing. Oh, and thank you. I appreciate that. It's fun. I love it. Nope, that's not what I wanted either. Okay. I'm going to try this one more time. One more time to see if I can get this idea. Otherwise, I might have to put this aside. I know what I want it to do, but I think maybe putting the beige dots was the mistake. I think I need to start without the beige dots because that's what's screwing me up right now, I think, with my spacing and where I want to do things. Yeah. Gotta have a look at that. The white line around the circle dots. I'm not sure what you mean. Are you heading out, Sharon? It was good to see ya. Thanks for coming to hang out. Okay, I gotta think for a second here. Which means I'm gonna put this one away. I know what I want to do, but I'm not being able to visualize it properly. Oh, thank you, Rin. Thank you. That's so kind. They loved it. That's so good. Oh, thank you, Jessica. Yeah, so when you do these, this is 2 dots on top of each other, the one in the middle. So this one is just the part of the mold, right, that sticks up and holds the incense. So then I do that one. These ones here are, yeah, this is a larger dot of the lighter color and then a smaller dot on top of it with the darker color. Well, that's what I was thinking. Like, at first I was thinking I needed it to go, like, from here to here, right? Like, maybe I need to draw it out again. First I thought, like, going from here to here, right? So that would be like so. And then the next one would be here. And the next one will be here. And the next one here. And the next one here. Maybe that's it though. But I think, no, that's okay. If you've never done it, you don't know for sure. Because it does look like there's a line around there, for sure. I think what I want is I want the white smaller this way. And then I want to come out to here to do this one. And I wanted to come out to here to do that one, but no, that's not going to work either. Then my other thought was have the blue, maybe have the blue even start here and could have it come like so, then do the next one, the next one, the next one, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then the white would go like so, right? Hi, Silly, how are you? Bonjour. That's why I'm thinking that these almost need to be gone. Like if I am over here, let's try something. I'm gonna go way over here. I'm just gonna knock a couple of you out of here. You can always redo it. And I'm doing good, Sally. How are you doing? I hope you're doing good. Oh, good. I'm glad. Happy weekend. Happy Saturday evening for you. Does it make sense what I'm trying to explain, Crystal? And if you're driving, please don't answer. I hope you're not listening while you're driving or not reacting while you're driving. Okay. What I like about the inner part here, right, is that when you're looking at the picture of a wave, you see the white kind of in the middle and then it gets darker around the edge. And I want the blue to be the most prominent. I almost like this one more. But I don't know if that's even possible on the side. I think I'm going to have to go with this, right? And just make this one smaller. No, it is afternoon for me. It's almost 3 o'clock in the afternoon. That's what I was thinking. That's totally okay. That's kind of what I was thinking. Like, you know how I did the beige here and so with the white before, I wrapped it here, right? I started it here and I came down this way. So what if I just keep going that way? I don't think it's gonna. So yeah, I think I need to almost have the white here, and if I want it to splay a little bit, it's almost like have the white start here, right? But then that space is too small. Okay, so that's when I thought of the other. Okay, let's try that again. All right, we're going to try this and we're just going to really quickly rough it out. I'm not going to worry about doing this super well. I just think I need to visualize it. So let's try this. Let's see if I can make this work in the head. So if I go there, and then I go with the next darkest. Yeah, that's what I was doing here, drawing with my chalk marker, my chalk pencil, my watercolor pencil crayon, I guess. All right, now let's go to number 2, which will go here. This might work well. Okay, this might do it. We'll see. Open. Haven't used the blue in a little bit. Let's see what we can do here. Now you. Three. Now, I'm going to do a couple different ones actually and see what happens here. Holy cow, that wind needs to go away. I know exactly what I'm going to do. Okay, this is working well. Okay, we're going to keep going. Yes, this is an incense burner. Sorry, silly. This is an incense burner. I made it with UltraCal 30, which is a gypsum plaster, and molds from Devon Dotting. Okay, so now imagine if I do this. So instead of starting that so low, we're going to start it here. Right? And if I start to build it out that way, that's the key. That's the one. Yeah. Okay. All right. So please don't freak out. I'm wiping it all off because I need to get these beige dots back again. This is trial and error, and I'm totally good with it. I'm happy with how it turned out. I just want to get the spacing down. I want to get the beige dots back on, and I'm going to modify the spacing just a teeny tiny bit. But now, solid plan. So I'm going to make super fast work of this. No, don't worry, I promise. Because this one didn't start up here like I want to for the rest of them. So I'm going to make sure they all start. Process was a learning experience. I hope that it was a valuable one for you. And I'm sorry for the mini heart attack here, but I promise it will be worth it. Promise. Okay, so I'm going to make quick work of this one. And then I am going to be able to get started there. So again, I apologize for the heart attack. But there is a method in my mind to that madness. Now, that wasn't something that anybody else had to do. That was something that I did for me, right? Starting over, fresh slate after being super frustrated about how I'm going to line it up and how I want to do it and trying multiple times. Sometimes the fresh slate just feels the best. And it gives me that, okay, so there's nothing I need to correct here. I can just lay it all down and start painting fresh again. So that's why I did that. Why I painted over everything, okay? Was so that I could have that fresh slate, fresh start feeling and not feel like there's, okay, so do I need to correct the spacing on this one or is this one okay? I can just start completely from scratch. So that is what we are going to do. And I promise that I will film it so that I can show you how it goes. I'm so glad that was helpful. And sometimes you don't know what the right process is to figure it out. You know, I haven't done a lot of drawing out designs before because I'm so used to just winging it. And when an idea doesn't work out, I now understand the value of being able to kind of draw it out or try a few different ways to see what's going to actually what's actually going to hit for you, right? So I'm going to put that off to the side. Wash my hands again because I've got more gesso. Is it gesso or gesso? I've heard people call it both. I have to look it up and look at the phonetics of it because I wasn't sure. She does, Celie. Oh my God, I'm covered in paint. How? All right. Let's do a couple more of these little yellow guys before we get going. You say gesso? Okay. All right. Well, that's what I always said too. And I heard someone call it gesso, and I'm like, No, there's not a lot of people in France. It's pretty popular over here. Oops. That one was crap too. This means I need to stop painting. Something's not right. Running out of tiny paint brushes to use to fix my crap. Aw, thank you, Christy. Yeah. Tell everybody in France, you must come and hang out with us. All right. Aw, it's so kind. Thank you. So I've got 3 incense holders at various levels of works in progress. Right? Got the waves, we've got the sunflower, we've got the neon metallic rainbow. You guys are so sweet. And then candle holders as well. So these are some of the stuff that is going to be part of my shop update next Saturday, 26th at noon Eastern. It's fun, eh? So we'll be doing more spirals. We're going to do a lot of these different patterns. I've got a few other patterns that I want to put onto a couple of things and actually create patterns out of. Like this one, for example, I created a pattern that's a step-by-step PDF, downloadable PDF. It comes in 2 sizes. There's a 4-inch, which is this centerpiece. So it's a pattern that walks you step by step how to create this. And then the second part of it is the 12-inch pattern. Now this pattern, this 4-inch center, started as a mug. And then we took that design, created a pattern out of it, and that was also the basis for this one. Right? Only the difference is we've got that center in there and I put the stripes on there. So I want to play with a lot of these patterns and see what other things we can do. I want to take this same design and the same color scheme and do the same design on a candle holder. So I want to start kind of playing with all that different stuff. So what I'm thinking of right now is I'm going to be kind of going through some of the mugs that I painted for some of the card pulls. And we're still going to be doing card pulls from the Dot Mandala Inspiration Deck. That is not going to stop. It's just we're off on a tangent right now, but we will get back to that. But I'm going to go through a bunch of those old designs that I've done and try and create some new patterns out of them. And then put that pattern, modify it slightly to say, okay, so if you want to take that pattern and put it on an incense holder, let me help you figure out an idea for how to start the center, how to fill in the center, how to fill in the sides, how to add a border, or how to create options for an edge, right? So I think that would be really, really fun. So that's what we're going to do an awful lot of. So if you have any designs in the past that I have done that you are particularly interested in seeing me create a pattern from, a step-by-step pattern, please let me know. Send a post to me, send a screenshot of something. Please let me know what things you would like to see me put into patterns. And I will do my absolute best I can. Thanks, guys. Oh, that's so kind, Jessica, thank you. And Cindy, thank you. That is very true, and I am definitely not able to speak French. Maybe, Saley, we need to team up. We need to translate. So you take over France. You learn how to do this, and you do it in France and teach everybody in French. There you go. Thank you, Cindy. That's so kind. Thanks, guys. I love the rainbow. The rainbow is one of my absolute favorites. So that downloadable pattern's available on my website right now. I'm going to be adding another one that is going to look like this, only with a smaller center dot. And we're going to be creating the sunflower one next. So if you want to check them out, that would be wonderful. Otherwise, I will post my live schedule for next week, either later on this evening or tomorrow. I'm ahead of myself for a day. And I will try to put those events in the Facebook group and the Facebook page as well, just so everybody knows where I'm going to be, what time and where. And if you're able to come and hang out again next week, I would love to see that. They match, right? Like, and then I was thinking of sets. What if we did a set of a candle holder and a mug, or an incense holder and a mug? That could be super cool. Thank you, guys. Have a wonderful rest of your weekend too, Jessica. Good luck with the rest of your move. So if you do a screenshot and send it either through Facebook or Instagram, I'm Mandela Love Affair there as well. That's probably the easiest way. Or just tag me in a post even. Tag me in a comment of a post and say, hey, Jamie, I'd love to see a pattern of this one. This is a design I'd love to see a pattern of. And then please let me know what you'd like to see so that I can use that to start generating some more patterns, because I want to do a whole bunch of them. And thank you again for coming and hanging out with me for such a long chunk of time today. Thank you for just hanging out. I love you guys, and please take care of yourselves. Please give yourself some time to breathe this weekend if you can. If it's a long weekend where you are, maybe a couple extra breaths, and I hope that it's refreshing for you. I may go live at some point tomorrow evening as well, just an impromptu one, and it will be here. My guess is around 7:30. Won't be a 2-hour one, but I might hop on for a little bit. I will try. Anyways. All right. Love you guys, and we'll talk to you again very, very soon. Bye-bye. Whoops.